welcome. I'm Lynn of Lynn X Stitches Creates, and welcome to my Flosstube channel about counted cross stitch and the project bags I make. It is Monday, June 27th, and this is episode 47. 7 and 7, very nice. Welcome. If you are new, I've had a lot of new subscribers since StitchCon and some of the other StitchCon recaps I think I've been mentioned on. So welcome if you're new. I hope you enjoy. Today's going to be a little longer. It's going to be a WIP Parade, so buckle up, get ready. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. I appreciate everyone. I'm almost at 750, which is pretty cool. So hopefully in the next week, we'll do a giveaway to celebrate that. And of course, just because this camera has started, everything is itching. My eyes, my hands, sorry. Anyway. As you can see, I'm not in my usual place because I figured that having the dining room table to spread way too many whips on would be helpful. So I have a feeling a couple of whips are going to get UFO'd tonight. And if you hear noises in the background, it's the cats. I fed them so that they would leave me alone because 8 o'clock is usually dinner time. Figure if I fed them early, it'd be good. So, not a lot to show. Like I've said, I have this huge order of project bags that I'm working on. Plus, I'm finishing up the June mystery bag, the quarterly set. Its invoices went out today, and anyone that got an invoice, as soon as you pay it, well, not as soon as you pay it. Let me rephrase that. By the end of the week, your bag will be going out, your bag set. So, yeah, sold out of those, which is great. Thank you so much. So I've been working very long days. So I only have 2 whips to show you that I've been stitching on in the last week. I also went away over the weekend. It was a very short trip to Florida for my niece's baby shower. It was great to see. It's my husband's side of the family, but they're my family too. You know, these kids, I watched them all grow up, and it was such a fun time. You know, I get together with my sisters-in-law and we all make fun of our husbands, and now the daughters-in-law, shall we say, or nieces-in-law in my case, all join in and talk about the Dorney men. So it's a lot of fun, but it was a great baby shower. The gender reveal, 2 of my niece's brothers had a sword fight, and the one that won was the gender, which was a boy. So we're very excited for that. Anyway, Ramses has decided to join me, as you can see by the tail. So hopefully he'll let me do what I need to do. Anyway, so as far as whips go, no FOs this week. Next week, there'll be an FO because this won't take me long to finish. I started for my airplane travel, which worked out perfectly because my plane was delayed because of the storm systems going through Tampa last Friday. Everything was delayed. So I had started as my small exchange summer camp by Sam Sarah. And Ramses, get down. Say hi to everybody. All right, now get down. He's gonna get on the table and look. So it's just a simple little it's the tent and pine trees with the moon, and then the flag came with it. Let's see if I can show you without showing you the pattern. I almost did. So there's the flag. It's upside down. There's the flag. That'll go with it when I'm done. And I've got a couple of ideas on how I'm going to finish it, but you'll have to wait till Camp Black Needle to see. So this is how far I've gotten using the called for colors, except for the green of the hill. I changed that because I didn't have it. So, but otherwise, combination of DMC and Classic Colorworks. And I'm stitching it on 18 count because that was something I had and I really liked the way it looked. And it's an original Be Stitch Me. It's just called Navy Tan, but it's an 18 count. And I thought it was perfect as the background for that tent. So I just have to finish up the pine trees and such. I also pulled out this week, excuse me, I'm throwing things on the floor. I pulled out my new Rebel Stitcher Flowers Grow Back, and here's a picture of where it was, and here it is now. So my border all met for that. That's one of the largest ones, yay, and I've started putting in. So I really love the variegation on the cottage garden thread. And it seems to just work out perfectly. So that's that, and that's all the stitching I did this week. Very sad, very sad. Hopefully, I can do more this week. So that's 2 WIPs that I've been working on recently. And lose the pattern there. I will show you, sorry about the crinkling. The only haul I have this week is my bi-monthly, Colleen, sorry, bi-monthly. Cottage Garden threads came in from Rebel Stitcher. And they came all packaged up with Patriotic ribbon. Got a little, whoops, mushroom sticker. It's clear, it's very cute. And these colors again, oh my goodness. We got, and if you haven't gotten yours yet, because I know mine came really quick. It doesn't, the mail between me and Colleen, you never know. It either takes 2 weeks extra to get here, or it's like Zoom and it gets here right away. I can't figure it out. I don't know why, but this time my mail came really quick. So if you are on the Rebel Stitcher Cottage Garden threads and you haven't gotten yours yet, don't look. So we got this one. You can see it's kind of a gray to a navy blue. It's very pretty. Look at that one. Isn't that pretty? And then Quinn and Indian Lily. Now that's very patriotic. I wonder if there's a, I have to see if I've got like a one color patriotic that I could use that on. That would be really pretty. I think I know the piece, but I don't need to start it. So those are my Cottage Garden threads from Rebel Stitcher. And that's all I got. I was really hoping my Mrs. Sadis that I ordered, Mrs. Sadis silks that I ordered from her after StitchCon for Ode to a Peacock by Jan Hicks. They shipped right away. Unfortunately, I got a notification from Germany saying that they had them and that they were going to be coming, but I haven't heard anything since. So I don't know if they're stuck in customs or what. Hopefully they'll come soon. Okay, so sorry about that. I didn't mean to shake the camera. WIP Parade. Way too much. I've been on a starting spree. I never used to start a lot because I like to use scroll rods and to put things on and take them off a scroll rod, it's just a lot of work. So I would leave things on, and then I just wouldn't start things if I didn't have a scroll rod available. With Q snaps now, my world has changed, and I can keep changing. So, but start out with my oldest WIP. I have been working on this since my husband and I got married. I bought it the year we got married. I started it. I did not start it that year because we were in the military. We moved to Germany, and I started it in Germany. So I'm pretty sure I started it around our first anniversary in 1989. Much older than many of you watching, I know. But this is it. It's the Dragon Slayer. The Fair Maiden's the other pattern that came with it, but the Dragon Slayer. Now, I was young and ignorant and didn't realize what Crinkling was like. All his wings and his head, the fire, the knight, the maiden, the tree leaves are all Crinkling, and not just one color, many colors. So this has been worked on and put away and worked on and put away over the last 30 plus years. So, and then I've changed some of the Crinkling to things that I thought might be easier to work with. And of course, I was always a center starter back in the day, and this is on Ada. So here we are. So that's what I've done in 30 plus years. I thought I was farther, but I'm not. So my goal is that once I finish the Christmas stocking from hell, which July is going to be a focus for me, because it's Jolly July and it needs to be done this year. And I did not bring that in here to show you because you'll be seeing it a lot next month, which starts next week. Yeah, so that's gonna get some more love. And I think too, because patterns were kind of handwritten-ish, and it's difficult to, not to see, it's actually a pretty big pattern, but I was never one to mark off my patterns. So now that I have the capability of taking pictures with my iPad and putting them in files and being able to mark it off, I think I'll get farther on it. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But that won't probably be for a couple of months. Now, something in a way that's technically older than that. My husband and I got engaged in '87, and that year I had gotten to start building our Christmas ornaments. I had gotten this kit, and he loved it, and some of you have heard this story before. He said, "You should make one every year." Being young and in love, I said, "Sure." That doesn't take very long. So I have made, at current count, 34 of these little ornaments. And I had gotten behind for a while because I was working full time and eyesight issues, didn't have magnification, all that kind of stuff. So when I first started going to Keepsakes, I was working on them. That was like my travel piece, and it was very easy to work on. So, you know, so technically I have finished one. I have finished many of them, but this is this year's. That is in progress. I started it in January because Magazine Monthly Challenge Group, that was one for my prompt. So I had started it and I didn't finish it. That I'll finish in July too, for Jolly July. And I'm not doing these projects in any kind of order. Those two just, I thought it'd be fun. If you don't watch anything else, those are my oldest things that I've been working on. Let's see. I have actually 3 projects in this bag. Prairie Schooler, I started my 2006 Santa. You've seen him before. He's great. He's on XJU fabric. I'll bring him out more next month. I was supposed to, with WIP Go this month, I was supposed to start my 2019 Santa, which I haven't yet, and I may not. I may just do my 2006 Santa and get him done, and then start the next one, because I'm not sure how I want to fit it on the fabric. But I've got all the floss and everything for him, so. Then in January, I had also started for Magazine Monthly. This was my magazine start, and I did There's Always Time for Tea. This is a, is it a Doreen Jones? I forget. This page was taken out of a magazine, but I actually bought the patterns too. I had forgotten that I had them. So this was as far as I had gotten on that. I did enough for the prompt in January rather, for Bringo. And I just haven't gone back to it yet. But it's cute, so I will. And I'm mixing everything up in here. And I'm using Ymir Almond M&M silks on that. I'm changing all the colors and using the silks. So, what else do I have in here? That's not started. Oh, I guess I just have 2 in here. I thought I had 3. Okay. So that's that one. And of course, my sparkle from Forbidden Fiber Co. That was my May mental health sal. And this is where I am on that. I have not gone back to it since I showed you last week. Using called for Forbidden Fiber Co. 5 flosses. I need to outline more of the letters so that I can take that with me on retreats coming up, because that'll be good stitching just to fill in with. And I also showed you last week, I'm working on Modern Folk Embroidery, The River. That was a January 1st start for me. And if you did not see last week, that is where I'm at. So I'm not going to put on this bottom part. I don't know if I'm going to put the quote. I kind of keep changing my mind. I might put something different, a different quote there, which would mean I'd have to change the lettering. But I do have a quote that I would like to put there. That's something to think about now. But I'm using The River of Life, Forbidden Fiber Co. floss to stitch that, and that's on the Be Stitch Me fabric. Okay, trying to get to all the projects that I have on the table before I start pulling from the bag. Let's see, Chronicles of Narnia from Stitching Book Club. I don't have the finished product because it's done. It's been done. And if you could send Kristen good thoughts, she's been having a lot of medical health issues. So she has not done anything this year for Stitching Book Club, but please send good thoughts and prayers her way. So this is where I have gotten so far. Very sparkly fabric. I've been meaning to get back to this one. It keeps calling my name because I don't like unfinished sals, but there'll come a time when the mood will strike me and I'll get part 2 knocked out. Sometimes the counting on 28 count is daunting to me in my head, so I don't do it. Of course, United We Stand, I started that for Juneteenth in 2020 with everyone else. Diversity Inclusion Matters Sal, and that's where I've gotten on the 2 ladies. They both have faces. I really want to finish her hair because the next section's gonna be, I need to outline too their dresses, but I've been changing the colors and I want to make sure that I'm happy with the color for the dresses before I start outlining, because once if I outline the dresses, there's a lot of color blocking that I could do very easily at a retreat. So, and that's on Bestitch Me Frost. And I started Superior Bees by Summerhouse Stitchworks for Zan's birthday. And even though I like it, I haven't been back to it, and it's partly because I made a mistake in counting. I'm gonna live with it, but I've got to make sure that I pay attention. So that's as far as I got. And I did check in my stash. There's a lot of French knots on the beehive when you get there because it's supposed to be steampunk, so it's supposed to look mechanical. And some of my friends were talking about doing beads instead of French knots. And I kind of like that idea, and I do have, because I've gotten stitchy boxes in the past, I do have a bunch of beads that would work for that. So I think that's what I'm gonna try too, but I've never done beads, so I need to do something with beads before I do it. Okay. I have, let's see if I've got a picture. A lot in this bag. I've got this on scroll rods, and my scroll bag is a little, okay, so I've got Twin Peak Primitives Tracking the Seasons, and I'm doing summer, which is this one. And I started this January 1st of 2020. And it is on 28 count Cashel Raw Natural linen. And this is where I've gotten. Put that paper behind it. And now I just lost that. So that's where I am on that. It's on my WIP Go, and I don't think it's been called yet, or it was called and I didn't get to it, but I'm definitely going to, because I do like it, and I know exactly where I tend to, when I start projects, it's because I have an idea of where I want to put them. So that will go in my guest bathroom. When it's finished. my scroll frame bag that I made for myself before my first stitch away. And then this will be coming out this month. Jessie Marie of Jessie Marie Does Stuff, who is the founder of WIP Go, posted the numbers today, and 11 and 18 were the numbers for July. So Dorney Lane, Rosewood Manor will be coming back out. And this is one that I keep on the scroll rod. I'll do it a little bit so that you can see. And that's how far I've gotten with that. It is so pretty. So I've done that first corner. I love it. And I'm sure Barbara would like her model, because I'm stitching this for Barbara for Keepsakes. I've been working on it for a while. I say that every time I show it to you. So, and that's Call for Colors, Call for Linen. Okay. All right. This was one of my StitchCon starts, Raccoon Rabble by Plum Street, because Plum Street is the June focus for Karen. Ready? Because I haven't gone back to it. That's backwards. Let's see. That's my start. That's across the top. So that's as wide as it's gonna be. That's it. That's all I've done. Oh, that's so sad. So very sad. I'll get back to it. I think I'm just kind of bummed with myself that I didn't do a center start. So, okay, off to my bags now. So, anyone counting? Anyone know how many I have? Maybe I'll put in numbers when I edit this. I have Tea Time by Ink Circles. That was it the March designer focus for Garon? And this I've done quite a bit on. I really should go back to it. And that's where this one is. I've decided I'm leaving that tea kettle. I'm not gonna fill it in. I'm leaving it blank because I like it with the purple showing through. I think it looks really cool. So it would be a gray. It would be this kind of greeny gray. And I think it looks cool like that. So I'm leaving that one like that. This one I take to Keepsakes when I go on Saturdays. I switch between this one and this next one, which is Fat Quarter Shop's Stitchography. I started it last August for World Cross Stitch Day. I really was hoping to get it done before this August. I'm getting there, but I'm not sure that I'm gonna make it before World Cross Stitch Day. So that's how far I've gotten. Hello, Ramses. So I've got all this bottom stuff and the word backstitch over here. So I've gotten eat and sleep. So I've got stitch and repeat and then the rest. And Cat, get off the table. I don't know what he thinks sometimes. It is not the right things. So this was my own color conversion. I decided to stitch from stash for World Cross Stitch Day. Had fabric in my stash and colors that I hadn't used. So this is my Ohio bag that I made. And last year, I had put the button on, but last year at StitchCon, someone had given out, it's really, I mean, it is a zipper pull, but that's the Ohio state flag, and there's a bee on there. So I thought that was cool, so I stuck it on there. So I had started Glendon Place, Dragon Affairs, and I have not gotten back to this one either. Oh, I'm dropping floss left and right here. Oh, and I broke Snoopy again. My daughter had gotten a cricket for Christmas, and she cut out of balsa wood a Snoopy floss drop, but you know, if you're familiar with Snoopy, his neck is very thin, so it didn't really work very well. But that, as far as I've gotten with that, it is going to be almost this entire piece of fabric. It's going to go quite far down. So I will get back to him too. I haven't had to do any hospital stitching, which is great. I don't want to anymore. We've done enough hospital stitching this year and last year. I'm really excited not to be doing hospital stitching. If you're new, my son, my youngest, had a liver transplant last August. We are 10 months out. He had to have a second surgery in April. And since that surgery has been doing fabulous, he and Ashley, who may be back next week to do floss tube again, and she's been stitching, and she's definitely got haul to show. So, but they're moving forward with their lives and making new plans, and it's wonderful. It's exciting, and I'm so happy. So From the Heart Needle Art by Wendy. I've got Freedom Quaker that I've been working on, and that's where that one is. So I've got the one tree there all done, and yes, it looks weird here, but that is the border. That's the end, and they just kind of cut it off. It was interesting. I guess that's a Quaker kind of thing that they do. But hopefully 4th of July, I'll have time to pull that out and put some more stitches in on that. I know some people are saying they don't want to stitch anything patriotic because of the Supreme Court's decision. I just don't know what to do. I don't know how we're all going to fight this, but we definitely need to figure out a way, because that overturning that was just wrong. And one of the justices should be set down because he is being influenced by his home life. And that's all I'm going to say on that. Okay, so that bag is empty. Moving on to another bag. So I started Ingleside Imaginarium, Spring Dragon. I made a little start on this. This is one that I started, and that's all I've got done on it. I started when I was on a Zoom call with some friends, and I realized I can't do this one. I have to, because I use my iPad when I'm Zooming, and I have to have the pattern on my iPad. And Jessie Marie is doing it, and if you don't watch Jessie Marie, you should, because she really likes large things. She's done a lot of Hades and things like that, but she's doing that one too, and she's doing it like her Hade. And I'm thinking that I might do that too, where I have, you know, multiple flosses going at the same time so that you can do it easier rather than starting and stopping your thread all the time. This bag was my December bag last year, and it has from Park Hopper Bart, Winter Welcome. That came in the Niceless box this Christmas for 2021. And this is how far I've gotten. And I'm using, this is white etoile on there with Sullivan's that came with the, but I love him. He's very cute. And I'm gonna finish him too. I know some people have already finished him. I'm not one of them, but I will. I'll get back to him. And that's a kit. I have my Glendon Place Poltergeist Pirates. It's all kitted up, ready to go to start at Black Needle, Camp Black Needle in August with Janelle and Jennifer and Heidi. There's a whole group of us doing it. And we will come up with a, I've been meaning to sit down and check Instagram. We're gonna come up with a hashtag for it. It may be something exciting like Poltergeist Pirates Sal. I don't know. Or we might do something crazy. Poltergeist is, you know, one of those words. I mean, it's not that hard to spell, but in a way it is. And I will try to stop hitting the table all the time. Okay, Luminous Fiber Arts. Counting is hard. I love this. This is so cute. And I restarted this because I decided I didn't like the fabric that I started it on. And I am not one to restart things, but I had put in the scissors and then I was just like, And I love the way the bird pops on this. So that's, there we go. That's about the color of the fabric. This is a, Stitch Me? Coconut shell is the fabric. So I don't want to go too long, take, you know, too much time, because do you really want to sit here? Though Pam and Steph's latest video is almost 4 hours, so if you're watching that, I guess you wouldn't mind watching this. But I also am not sure about how much memory I have. So I have Flower Fairy by the Stitchy Princess, who is still trying to survive the war in Kyiv there in Ukraine. So thinking of her. And this is mostly my color conversion using Almond M&M threads. I picked out colors for her dress that are the Ukrainian flag colors. So I haven't decided, she's got like a belt here, and I haven't decided exactly what colors I'm going to use for that yet. So I need to get back to her too. So many things I need to get back to. Okay, I'm gonna have to reorganize these bags. And this is one I definitely is gonna come out very soon. My Crew de Sorcier by Tralala. I'm so close to finishing this, and I love her so much. Oh, that's why that's there. The thread is still attached. But you can see I mean, she's so close to being done. Isn't she fabulous? I don't do Halloween, but I really love her. I just think she's so cute. So I have to finish getting around that heart. And then I have to decide if I'm taking out October 31st. I may do just another bird or reverse the bird, or maybe just leave it blank. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe put a star in, there's a moon. You could put a star. Maybe get a button. If I get up to Craft Gallery, I know they've got quite a selection of buttons. So maybe, we'll see. Or maybe in my travels this summer, I'll find something. Okay, I've got 2 in this bag because they're sharing the fabric. I've got Home of a Needleworker 2, and this, excuse me, this will be coming out, A, because I want to work on it, and B, because it was a June call and I haven't done anything with June yet. So, so this side is that. That's how far I'm on that. And then on the other side, also by Little House Needleworks, is Giving Thanks. I'm thankful for my daily bread and also for my cross stitch thread. And that's where I am on that. So I really enjoy stitching both of them when I have this out. So, and I don't like having it folded up because I don't like putting creases in my stitches. I like to try to keep it as flat as possible, so I really need to finish them so they can get out of the bag. I've got my working copies of the pattern. And this was my very first quarterly bag, March of 2021. Such fun colors. It's yellow inside. You can't really see, but back in the days when I had so many and I didn't sell them all, so I got to keep one. Now I can't do that, which is a great problem to have. And if I planned differently, I could make it so that I could get one, but you know, I would rather have everyone happy because it seems that people really enjoy the quarterly bags. I've got by Forest Embroidery. I believe this is called The Lynx. And that's where I am on that. That's his leg. That's the leg of the lynx. And I'm using their fabric and floss. You can almost see how it's a white blue. It's white with a blue variegation in there. It's so pretty. And that's one color of brown and that's a different color of brown. That's just the variegation in the floss. So it's a cute stitch. It's not huge. That's all the fabric that it needs. So I've just got to get myself back to it. I've kind of been putting it off because I'm kind of like, you know, maybe it's a weird quirk that I have, but I just don't want to work on something by a Russian designer until Russia is out of Ukraine. I know other people are doing Owl Forest, and I have other things that I've gotten from Owl Forest, but I just don't feel like it's right to work on it while they've invaded. And I know it's not the designer's fault. So, let's see. I started this. Nope. In one of my bags, I've got WIPs and kitted projects, so, or at least They're kitted to the point where I've got either fabric or floss or both. So this is Tellin Emblem. If you went to StitchCon Weekend A lot of you got to meet Chris-Ann Tellin, and she is a wonderful person. And she did 2 patterns for Stitch Away 2020. And I started this one because it's blue, and they're both called Keepsakes. And this one says, of all the endeavors she undertakes, it's her stitching that yields cherished keepsakes. And I've got the pink one all kitted up so that when I finish this one, I can start that one. And they're both stitched on ale. And this is where, I guess that's good. This is where I am. I've just got that bottom and some of, let's see, I've got flowers. Let's see, where am I? Yeah, so there's flowers and another butterfly that goes here, and then flowers across the bottom, and I'll be done. And I have this on my WIP Go. I don't, either it was called and I did work on it this year, or it has not been called yet. Can't remember which one. So, ooh, what got on that? Oh, okay, so I did start that one. So this was, I have, the last 2 years I've done virtual retreats with acorns and threads. And this year, the designer was Luhu Stitches, and the pattern is called All About the Acorn. So she's got the squirrel, he's got the acorn, but he's falling. So during the retreat, I started it, and this is how far I got. So I got the squirrel all in, and I am supposed to go to the Acorns and Threads retreat in September. I have roommates, so it's all good, and I plan to bring this to work on there. Okay, so if you were with me, you know Black Needle Society is a murder mystery retreat. The pattern is Must Be Possible. Kristen De Palma did the original design, which is that, and then Katie Landis made it into a cross stitch pattern. So not much changed. And this, man, I have not put things away neatly, have I? And that is where I am. Got the little Poirot door. If you watch Poirot, you know that they have that door and matching needle minder. So, and this fabric was dyed by Jody of Steel City Stitchers. And the magical thing about it, let's see if I can show you in this light, is there's blood spatter on it. If you use your UV light, you can see the blood spatter on the fabric. See, so there's blood spatter behind the words there. So when I was unboxing this, everything was so cute, the way they packaged everything. I didn't want to open the fabric and the pen because it was packaged in this great evidence bag. And Jody said she was watching. She's like, just open it, just open it. So I did open it, and I finally figured out. So that's really cool. I mean, talk about a clever little thing. Okay. This is one that I've been working on for a while. I love it, but I think because I started it when I first got back to cross stitching. And, you know, I had always done, sorry, it's warm in here. I had always done 14 count, and I've always done 2 strands. And this is 18 count, and it's a Be Stitch Me. It's called Night Sky. The weave is a little tighter, and I really should have used only 1 strand, and I would have made it easier for me to stitch. But I've gone too far now. I'm not. I'm going to continue it, and I will finish it. So it's called Search the Sky by Waxing Moon Designs. May you never be too grown up to search the sky on Christmas Eve. So this is where I've gotten to. It's a cool opalescent. Started Santa's sleigh over there. So I'm hoping to pull this out in July as well for Jolly July stitching. I need to make a plan. But of course, if I make a plan, you know me, I'm going to change the plan, or I'm not going to follow the plan, or I'm just stuck. Because that is the way I am. Okay. I've got this from Teresa Kogut, Hope for the World. I love it. And I haven't stitched on it since last Jolly July. And I really should. Maybe I'll get this going too, so I can bring this to a retreat, because I'm not going to fill in there because it's the fabric color. But that's as wide as it is. So I should really get back to it and get my borders in, because that'll probably make me even happier. I'm not going to be using this whole giant piece of fabric. But this, I believe, is called Gold Rush from Be Stitch Me. Yes, Gold Rush from Be Stitch Me. It's 28 count. Opalescent. I think you saw the shimmer. So, but I'm going to Stitch West in October, and I believe Teresa Kogut is one of the designers for Stitch West. So I really want to get some more in on that before I go see her again, because she saw me working on it. This one is by MI Studio Create. It's called American Gnome, or America Gnome, sorry. And I have not gotten very far on him. That's his nose and his hat. But it's looking great on this color fabric, isn't it? Look at that color. So, it's going to be a fight next Monday to see which ones I work on. Depends upon how much sewing I get done this week as to how much stitching I'll get to do next week. But, love it. This is a Wild Violet. I love the pattern, but I made a mistake. So I'm working on, so I may UFO it, I don't know, and start on a different fabric, or I may just work with it. I've been doing Rudolph. These are called Christmas in Space postage stamps. You can see all of them, but I've been working on Rudolph, and I've only been working on the border, and somehow I made a mistake. So I've put in, it's gonna be too small. I messed up, I think, on the corners. I got into the pattern of it. I mean, I love this fabric. Isn't this fabulous fabric? So whether I restart it or work with it, I haven't decided yet. So, got to meet Ryan at StitchCon. She's great. And here's another one that I might UFO. I bought this. This is the Zimmerman coverlet by Modern Folk Embroidery. This was based on Ellen Reed of Maximum Cross Stitch Power Hour. It's based on a heirloom coverlet that she has. And when we started this back July of 2020, August of 2020, I think it was the summer, we all started thinking that we were going, I think we all thought we were going this way, but it turns out it was this way, and we all started our fabric wrong. So, I don't know. I have a classic color work and a color in cotton that I'm using for it. And that's as far as I got. So I have this piece of fabric, but it should be going this way. So I just haven't gotten back to it to decide if I've got enough and if I'm gonna finish it or not. Because I wasn't gonna do the whole thing anyway, because this pattern repeats. So I was just gonna do the one section, but I don't know. I'll get back to it sometime. And when I go back to it, if it's not working out, I'll probably will UFO it. I have not started that. Okay. Ooh, we're up to an hour. I still got another bag. You know that's not good. Okay, so, I've got 2 projects in here. All right, so I've got Our Hearts by Brenda Gervais, and I'm changing some of the colors. This is kind of an anniversary sampler for my husband, and I love it, and I don't know why I haven't worked on it more. So that's as far as I got. You can see I did the Smyrnas and the heart up there. And so I've just done up here, and that's it. So bad. It says, your heart and my heart are very old friends. But I don't know. You know, big eyes, things get started. Then I also have in this bag, I have Colorful Eagle, which is by Kitty and Me Designs by Pamela Kellogg. I had started this on Ada, and then I saw someone had done it on the Fabric Flare, the We the People, and I bought this, and I've been meaning to get back to it and restart it. So this is all I did. I started his beak on Ada because I was going to be good and just, but I haven't gotten back to him since I got the new fabric. So we'll see eventually, because I do love him. I do want to finish him. So. And I think I've got a couple other kitted ones, but not started. So that's everything in that bag, maybe. Oh, no, 2 more. So I have been working on, I had gotten from Black Needle Society a tote bag from Live and Die LA, and I have been stitching the Peruvian cats, the reflection. So this is one cat, this is a second cat, there's a third cat over here, and then it'll be their reflection down there. So I've been working on that. And I've been meaning to get this one out too for June, for Pride Month, since it's a rainbow fabric, or floss. I got this Aquarius from Forbidden Fiber Co. Came with all the floss and the fabric. And I started it, and I believe this was I started it in March and it got voted down. So that's the rim of the vase and the beginning of water, and that's all I've got done on it. So I haven't been back to it yet. So many things. So bad. Too many starts. You know, and sometimes I'm not starting anything new. I don't want to start anything new. I got too much started. I want to keep going on what I have. And then other times it's like, start all the things. So, okay, so that's that bag. Then got this bag, which are things you saw last week. So I've got my Patrick O'Shanahan from Rebel Stitcher, and that's as far as he is. I've got my Quaker Turtle by Ori TM. Can I show it upside down? That way. Gotta go a little faster. And that's as far as I am with that. Keep working on it when I'm out with people, and I really need to work on it at home. I think I'd get farther. But I had started it with Candy 614 Stitcher in January, and we were both at StitchCon, and I wanted to work at it with her. We weren't at the same table, but she saw me working on it. So, January Quaker by From the Heart Needle Art by Wendy. And that's where that one is. And also in this bag by Liz Matthews is Token of Fall. And I started that in January. That I started January 5th. And that's as far as I am with that one. So the top and beginning of the side border. I have not gone all the way across the top though on that. And that was a WIP Go call as well that I haven't gone back to. I did like part of my WIP Go call for it and finished. So I'm kind of doing half and half with my WIP Go. And then another bag. I've got Whip It Good by Heartstring Samplery. And that's where I am on that one. Using Bestitch Me fabric and Bestitch Me floss. And also in this bag is by Blackbird Designs is Cats on Parade. And that I think is my other WIP Go call for this month. No. But it is coming up again. It will come up again. So I gotta finish filling in that second cat and then continue on to the third one. And I've decided I'm not doing the bottom border. I think it'll be cute without the fence, the picket fence. So those are those. That was just a small bag. And then my last bag is all of my Christmas, most of my Christmas. I did have one Christmas in this bag. I gotta put that in the other bag. I'm not sure how many actual whips I have in my Christmas bag. I know I put a lot of them there so I would know where they were. It's my Christmas bag. Are you surprised? Okay, so Polar Express bag from the Nice List box. This is my grandson's Christmas stocking, and I don't have a printout of what it looks like. It's a Satsuma Street. It's a Santa and hot air balloon. If I have a picture handy, I'll put it in. And that's what I've started so far. I have been working on his dad's stocking because I knew if I started working on this too much, I would just continue on this, get his done, and not finish his dad's. So I feel bad that I have not finished my son-in-law's stocking. This was Jingle Jolly Joy. It's a mystery sampler by Luminous Fiber Arts. I only have the blurred out version of it. It is all out. It was from last July. I did get one block done. And what I was thinking was I may just try to do one block every year. So I did this whole block in July last year. So I think that's one of my plans for this July is to get the next block done, which is Santa. I think that's a reasonable, and if I get it, you know, so what if it doesn't get finished until 2023? As long as it gets finished. And it is very cute, and I will finish it. And I'm using all the colors, called for colors on that. And then I have, this was from the Nice List box 2020 from Blue Flower, Bloom Amidst the Winter Snow. Now this is on 40 count. It's my first 40 count. I do like it, but the colors aren't really my color palette. So I've been meaning to bring this into Keepsakes and talk with Susan, who's our floss whisperer, and see, like the white, the gray blue, the green leaves, that's all good. But this, so I'm gonna bring it in and see if maybe there's something that I can change it to that I like a little bit better than the browns. I don't know, maybe if I just finished it, I would like it. I don't know, but. So I don't mind the 40 count. This is a very nice piece of 40 count and hasn't been difficult to work on, so. Christmas bag I made a couple of years ago. Some of you may have one because I did sell them. Another from the Black Needle Society. This was, this design was Autumn Lane Stitchery did it. It's fabulous. And this is another Christmas Sal. This was Satsuma Streets, and I don't have, if I can find the finished product, because this one is all done too, but it was a lot. It was a lot of stitching, and this one block took me forever to finish. So I will get back to that. I will. I don't know when, but I will. Because I love the fabric too that it's on, and the colors are so pretty. So that was Satsuma Street's Christmas in July stitch along last year. Let's see, do I have anything else? I've got things kitted. Let's start that. So Lindy Stitches. I started accident-free days. My cats, we've been pretty lucky. In 34 years, we've only had a cat knock over the tree one time, thankfully. So hopefully we will continue with that. So I'm working on this one, and that's as far as I got. So it's a cute stitch. I really love them, and I want to do the other ones too. But you know, you start all the things. Start everything and not finish anything. Let's see. Did I start that? I don't even know what that is. I did not start that. And some things that I haven't started may become giveaways for all of you out here. This was also from the Nice List box in 2020. And I did start it. And I need to finish it because it's not that big. And it's so pretty. So this is on a 28 count Venetian stone. And that's where the pattern says it's the season to sparkle, but I always say 'tis the season. So I moved letters around because everything was in that space. IT apostrophe S, just different order. Apostrophe TIS, it all works. So I changed it. So I will get back to that. I did not start that. Did not start that. Did not start that. I started that, but we'll talk about that. No. Okay, so last one. Last WIP. Everything else is kitted things. Sometime we'll do a kitted project thing, but not tonight because we're already at an hour 12. Okay, so I had started this, like I said, when I first came back to cross stitching in 2019, when I found out about magnification and I could do it again. I kind of went crazy and I saw this at Keepsakes, Sue Hillis, yo ho ho. I love it. And I found this mystery fabric in one of the baskets and I thought, oh, that would be great on there. But when I started stitching it, I was having troubles. So that's the beginning of his beard. And what I think it is, this is either 36 or 40 count. So I got from Black Needle Society, from one of the boxes, I think it was the steampunk box, I got a fabric gauge so that I can lay it on there and figure it out. But I'm pretty sure I can't do 2 strands in this because, like I said, that was my modus operandi, was to always do 2 strands. So I will take those at that meager start out and restart it with 1 strand. Probably, even if I can't figure out what count it is, I probably will do that anyway. And I had been kind of convinced to do it with a variegated rather than to do it as charted. And I think I'm going to go back to doing it as charted because I've done enough of Sue's patterns now because I've model stitched for her a couple of times. I did 3 in her March release. And if you were at StitchCon, you got to see one of the ones that I did. So I will restart that with that fabric and all the called for, and I think it'll be cute. So that's all my WIPs. Took me an hour and 15 minutes. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll get Ashley to do a WIP parade sometime in the near future. We got to get her back here to Ohio. Right now, my son is in Georgia with her, but they're planning to come back up this week. And, you know, she's getting ready to take tests for med school. And so she's kind of more focused on that than stitching. But she's still getting enabled by stuff that comes out and buying stuff. So anyway, we are enablers, aren't we, as a community? This up here was a piece that the tree here was in a magazine, and then I designed what's under the tree. The roots are all my family names, and I entered it into Daughters of the American Revolution Fiber Arts contest, and I won for the state of Georgia, for the Southeast region, and then I won first place for national. So that was my first big thing. That one little piece, and everything else is bigger. But I was kind of proud that I took a chance and I tried and I won, and my husband thought it was pretty cool too. So anyway, so that's what that is. Maybe sometime I'll put a picture, and it's hard to get a good picture of it, the lighting in here and the reflection on the glass, because I had it done at Michael's and it's not non-reflective glass. So anyway, be that as it all may, June bags will start shipping at the end of this week. Thank you to everyone that has paid their invoice already. Working on bags for a box that's going to be coming out. Gonna start getting ready for trunk show. Hopefully I'll have time to, for Camp Black Needle. And then I'll be working on the September bags. The theme for September will be Hispanic Heritage Month. So that's all the hint I'm giving you on that one. Sign-ups for the people that purchased the June bags will begin on September 1st. And then I'll open it up to everyone else for whatever's left, because it's going to be a small batch again, just because time-wise, that's what I have time for, will be September 15th. So I've already got the Christmas fabric, which I love, and I'll give a hint for that probably in September. So other than that, everyone have a wonderful evening, wonderful week. Stay cool if you are in the Northern Hemisphere. I'll see you next week. Bye.